welcome back. If this is your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Now, this is a video indicating how you can approach your translating section of the exam. Now, I have some pointers for you, and I promise you, as long as you bear these things in mind, the translation section will be a piece of cake. I've lived this, right? And I know that when I was in your shoes and I was studying Spanish, this helped me a lot. So I'm passing on this useful piece of information. Right, okay, before you start, you first need to know your essential words. So you need to know what words are what type of words. So you need to be able to identify your essential nouns. So nouns meaning los sustantivos, name of object, places, people, things you can touch. Those are your nouns. So for example, in England or a table, these are all nouns. Now, mesa, Inglaterra, un país, un sitio, all nouns. Paul, Tom, mum, things like that. Then of course you have your adjectives, so your words that describe objects or people. So guapa, bonita, beautiful, boring, aburrido, quick, rápido, lento, slow, things like those. And then obviously verbs are your doing words. Run, correr, make or do, hacer, leer, to read, dance, bailar, sing, cantar, and so on. So you need to know what your nouns are, what your verbs are, what your adjectives are, and you'll be set. Not only that, not only do you need to know what your main words are, or the different verbs, but you need to know how to conjugate them into the past, the present, and the future. Make sure you're doing revision on that. Do you know how to say, to identify a verb? Okay, take the verb to go, ir. Present tense, boy, I go. Past tense, fui. In the future, iré. Do you know how to conjugate the verbs in 3 tenses? Make sure you check. And don't worry if you don't. Spend time on that if you find you're not already there. Very important tip is that you need to work on your tenses, at least 3 of those. Present, past, and future. Okay? Essential. Right, word order. You must remember that in Spanish, adjectives are placed after nouns. So they would say, el coche rojo, okay? Coche, car, red, instead of red car. So remember, it's the other way around. Okay, remember that. You also need to remember gender agreements. So if I'm saying my teachers, my boring teachers, I would say mis profesores. So profesores in plural, profesores. And instead of just saying aburrido, which would mean one, I would make sure that it's plural as well, aburridos. So agreement matters. If it's plural, let them know that you do know. Okay? Right, what else do we have? Idioms. Take your time and get some popular Spanish idioms in, and make sure that you're not translating them literally, because there are so many of them that you will come across. For example, top of my head, es pan comido. Es pan comido, you're not going to translate it to it's bread eaten or it's eaten bread, because you would have understood that it means something is very easy. It's a piece of cake, right? So it's worth taking your time to learn basic and common idioms in Spanish. And if you have a problem with this, or you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know down below and I will make a list for you, okay? Right, and at the end of the day, as with everything, reread your work. When you finish translating the task, go over it and read it. Does it really make sense? Is it sounding too English? Is the word order all right? Have you conjugated all your verbs the way you should? Okay, make sure you reread it to spot any mistakes that you might have made. So here I have a very typical example of a text that you might be asked to translate into Spanish. And using the guide, we're going to go through the text and translate. I'm going to get very big talk. And first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to look for our essential words. We're going to start with our tenses. What tenses can we see in Spanish? In English, we see traveled. We know is viajado, and it's I, so you're going to put viajé, right? We're going to go through the text quickly, just the verbs. Remember, quedar is stay, but when we're talking about hotels and where we've stayed, we would use alojar. So let's read the text. Last year I traveled to Valencia with my family. We stayed in a small hotel near the city center, which was very convenient. Every day we visited different places, the beach, the museums, and the market. I loved the atmosphere because it was lively and full of culture. However, one day it rained, so we went shopping. Or went shopping instead, I think was the original text. In the future, I would like to return to Spain, but next time I will go to Grenada because my friends say it is exciting and full of history. Beautiful text, very easy, very typical. You will get something quite similar to this. So even though the word we know, the verb we know, so we're just going through the text first of all and underlining all the words that we recognize as verbs. So travel is a verb, stayed is a verb, all in the past simple. Was is a verb, comes from the verb to be, which is ser or estar. Yeah. Every day we visited is a verb, something you did is an action. Loved, again, is a verb, because it was, again, was, verb, and full of culture. However, one day it rained, verb, rain, to rain, an action. We don't do it, but it's done. But next time, I will go is a verb, because my friends say, verb, it is exciting and full of history. Okay, so first of all, we've identified all our verbs, and as we see, they're in the past simple, the preterite. So, how do we say we visited? Clue. Look for the subject all the time when we start translating. Make sure you're not saying I when it's we. Here it was I, so viajé, because yo viajé, no? So that's yo. You don't have to put the yo, but I'm just showing you that that's what it is. Stayed is we. So it would be nos. Instead of nosotros, nos. Yeah, we can leave it short. Nos alojamos, because the verb is alojar, if you remember. Alojamos, right? Nos alojamos, and then we go to this, the next verb, which is fue or era. Fue or era is the word for fue. Afterwards, you will read it and see which one looks nice or sounds better. Visited, again, one of our key words, and the subject is we. So, visitamos, nosotros visitamos. I should use a different color. I don't think it's going to show up though. Visitamos. Yeah? That's the A, by the way. Visitamos. Was, again, fue. Again, going down, rain, llovió. Llovió. Okay, it rained. Go, will go. So this is not the present, this is not the past tense, it's the future. So I will go is yo, iré, future tense. And say, my friends say, it's neither past nor future, this is the present. When we're talking about my friends, mis amigos is plural, so we're going to say mis amigos dicen. Dicen. Okay, mis amigos dicen. So we've got all our verbs sorted out and conjugated. Good way to tackle. So now we're going to go over and look at our nouns, okay? So, or our time expressions, which is what we're going to start with. Last year, el año pasado. I feel as though you're not going to see this very well on the board. El año pasado, last year, el año pasado, okay? Viajé to Valencia, okay? Connectives. I did a video recently about connectives in Spanish. If you're unsure about your connectives, please go and check that video out because you will need it. Okay? With, con, my, mi familia. You should know mi familia because we've been seeing this since year 7. Okay? Con mi familia. Nos alojamos, so we stayed in a small hotel. Hotel, small hotel. The noun, hotel, is the same. You might want to scan the text as well to just pick out all the words that you already know in English and they remain the same in Spanish, such as hotel, convenient. You look at the text and there are words that you don't even need to translate because they look the same in both languages. And so that's brilliant for us. Okay? Nos alojamos en so en un hotel. Remember what I said about word order? So instead of a small hotel, a hotel small. En un hotel pequeño. Okay? The word order, the noun, then the adjective. So un hotel pequeño. Near, do you remember near or far, cerca, cerca. Now, this is a moment to remind you to practice your prepositions. Where is the ball? It's near the wall. Where's the ball? It's under the table. Fun days when we were in year 7, right? Okay, so prepositions. Make sure we know our prepositions well. Near, far, cerca, lejos, al lado de, debajo de, encima de, all of the good stuff. Delicious. Right, so pequeño, cerca, cerca de, what's the word for city? Another noun, city, ciudad. Okay, so cerca de, the city, remember, what's that end in that in Spanish? Feminine, so we la ciudad. Okay, la ciudad, cerca de la ciudad, near the city center. So, near the city center, cerca del centro de la ciudad, because it's center, not the city. So, cerca del centro de la ciudad. Cerca del centro de la ciudad. Okay? That's why it's important to reread. Read and reread again. Okay? This is fantastic. It won't hurt anyone. Every day. How do we say every day? Todos los días. Todos los días. This chalk is so big because it's for outside. Visitamos sitios, places, and another noun, places, sitios. Uy, sitios diferentes. Remember, change the order. Visitamos sitios diferentes. Change the order. Noun and then the adjective. Let me turn off the AC. Okay. So remember, your noun and then your adjective. So, where were we? We visited different places. So, visitamos sitios diferentes. Okay? So, for example, the beach, key vocabulary, key noun, which is la playa. La playa. Okay? Keyword, guys, museums, museos. or los museos. And the market. Y el mercado. El because market is masculine. Mercado. Mercado. Okay? Mercado. I loved. How do you say I loved? I loved. Me encantó. We've seen another verb to express this, but because it's something that you're saying that you really did enjoy, you really loved it, you would say me encantó. Me encantó. It enchanted me. It just sounds so much better in Spanish, does it not? Me encantó. I loved the atmosphere. Me encantó el ambiente. El ambiente. Ambiente is atmosphere. Me encantó el ambiente. El ambiente. El ambiente, the atmosphere. Linking words, guys. Connectives. Connectives. We need to make sure we're translating these connectives well. So, because it's probably our most famous and most popular connective word. Oh! Because. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Remember, when it's because, it's one word as opposed to when it's a question. ¿Por qué? Why? Okay? So when you're saying because, it's together. ¿Por qué? It was. Remember what I said? Fue. Fue. This chalk is way too big for us. Let's see if we find. Oh, we're in luck. We've found a smaller one. I don't know what these kids do with the chalk, to be honest. I'm always buying and I never have any. Okay, because it was porque fue lively. So an adjective here, and full of culture. So here, lively describes, right? Describes the atmosphere. It was lively. We're animado. Animado y full, lleno. Okay, lleno. Lleno, again, full, and because we're using the masculine because it's describing el ambiente, right? So what was the atmosphere like? It was lively and full of culture. Lleno de, full of, lleno de cultura. See, a word like this, you don't even have to think. All you're doing is changing one letter. Lleno de cultura. Full of culture. Easy. Right, guys? It's really just breaking it down and going at it bit by bit. It's so easy once you know how. Okay? Right. Another linking word, connective, however. However, sin embargo. Okay? Or aunque. You can use either of these, sin embargo or aunque. Sin embargo or aunque is the same word. It's just a synonym. Aunque, one day, un día, accent on the A, un día, remember what we said? It rained. Un día llovió. We already had that verb because we did it before in the first scan. It rained. So, another connective. So you could say así que or entonces. Así que, so así que, or entonces is the same word for so. You choose. Whichever one you decide to use is perfectly okay. Okay? So, así que, so, así que, we went, okay, another verb conjugated with the subject, we went, fuimos. Sometimes you just have to stop and check and go down the list of conjugation. So, we went, me fui. I went, fui. I went. You went, fuiste. He or she went, fue. Nosotros fuimos. You get it. Así que fuimos de compras. Shopping is de compras. Again, compras, another noun, shopping. We went shopping. In the future, time expression, guys, time and expression. En el futuro, what I'm changing here from here is from the future is the O. En el futuro, conditional tense. I would like, we've been seeing this from day one. Me gustaría, I would like, me gustaría. Me gustaría, accent on the I. Me gustaría and the verb, return, volver. Volver is one of our key verbs. So we'll try not to forget the word volver. Me gustaría volver. I would like to return. Me gustaría ver. I would like to see. And revise that structure. Me gustaría plus the infinitive. Me gustaría ver. I would like to see. Me gustaría descansar. I would like to rest. And so on. Okay? Perfect. Moving on. I would like to visit. Me gustaría volver to. Remember, a is to España. España. I would like to return to Spain. Connecting word coming up. But, pero. But, next time, there's a time expression for you. La próxima vez, next time, yo iré. Remember, we had that conjugated before, so our task now is much simpler. I will go, iré. Remember, to, because it's showing movement. Granada. I would like to go to Granada. I will go to Granada. Iré a Granada. Because our connective words, because, porque. I'm not going to put porque because I'm always drilling it into you that you need to use synonyms. So because we used porque above, we're going to use ya que. It's the same. Ya que. It's like since. Ya que. Mis amigos, my friends, noun, my friends, possessive. Mis amigos, because it's not my friend one, but my friends plural. Mis amigos dicen, uy. Dices? No, dicen, because it's dicen as in ellos dicen. That was a mistake that I made. Okay? Mis amigos dicen, they say. They say, it is, es. Okay? This is present simple. Exciting. Emocionante. Not excitante. Emocionante. We always get this wrong. We always put excitante when we really want to say emocionante, exciting. And y lleno de historia. Okay, so history, all you're doing is taking off the Y and adding IA. Okay, so that is it. It should sound a bit like this. El año pasado viajé a Valencia con mi familia. Nos alojamos en un hotel pequeño cerca del centro de la ciudad. Lo cual fue muy conveniente. We forgot that. Fue muy conveniente. Todos los días visitamos sitios diferentes. La playa, los museos o el museo y el mercado. Me encantó el ambiente porque fue animado y lleno de cultura. Sin embargo, un día llovió. Así que nos fuimos de compras. En el futuro me encantaría volver a España, pero la próxima vez yo iré a Granada, porque mis amigos dicen que es emocionante y lleno y llena de historia. Because if you're talking about the city of Granada, we would say llena de historia. So, emocionante y llena de historia. So that is it. It's done. Make sure you go through the text first of all, identify all the familiar words, the words that look exactly like our English equivalent. Then you identify the tenses, present, past, and future. Underline them and translate them because we know them. We have that confidence in ourselves. We're going to look for our connectives, ya que, por qué, así que, all of these. Okay? En vez de, all of this stuff, all the good stuff. We're going to make sure we learn some really useful idioms in Spanish so that we're not translating word for word, or we're not writing word for word because it can look quite clumsy. Okay? And when you've finished, make sure you reread what you've written to make sure it doesn't sound too English. Make sure that the word order is what it ought to be. Make sure that your adjectives are following the noun. So, coche rojo, noun and then adjective. Okay? Make sure it flows well, that it sounds nice. And that is it. I hope that this will help you to tackle your translation tasks. So that is it, guys. Make sure you know what a noun is. Make sure you know how to identify a verb, and that you have a great list of adjectives and connectives in Spanish. You've got this. You have got this. And remember, I've done this before you, and so I know what it takes. It's just practice. If I can do it, you can do it. And all the other people before me, if they can do it, so can you. Good. You can find texts to translate, and this will actually sharpen your translation skills. The more you do it, the better you will become. I'm going to leave you with that. Until next time, take care. Nos vemos. Adiós, chicos.